Do you hate your job? Trust me, I've been there. Dreading Mondays, can't wait for Fridays. Did you know you didn't have to live like that? I did for years until I found my notary commission. Now you're probably thinking, how in the world is a notary making great money? I teach you that in my Ultimate Notary Training Bundle. I'm going to teach you how you take a simple notary commission and begin generating six figures for yourself and your business. You don't have to stay in the rat race. You can actually live the life that you would love to wake up to every single day. Don't delay. Click the link below, and I'll teach you how to gain time and financial freedom through the notary industry. Join me online at notarytonotary.com. Hey guys, it's Vanessa Terry here with Notary to Notary, and I want to show you guys how I was able to get started as a notary signing agent making $10,000 a month. When I first got started in 2015, I had no idea how lucrative this business was. So much so that I was able to quit my full-time job in 2016. Over the next few years, I've had so many successes and failures that I took all of them and bundled them up into a training program just for you. The training is available at notarytonotary.com, and there are two programs that you can register for: the Notary Signing Agent Training and the e-Notary Training. Make sure that your state licenses e-notaries before you register for that training. Once you register, you'll have instant access to the online training platform, as well as access to our live weekly interactive webinars with replay capabilities. Ready to get started? Register today at notarytonotary.com. Until then, happy signing! Hey guys, happy signing. Actually, give me one quick second. All right. All right, guys, you guys have me for about a good 30 minutes today before I have to do a e-notary coaching session. So, so we do e-notary coaching. So anybody who's like, I want to get into e-notary and I just need you to help me like understand the laws and how to do a sample session and how to build up the notary business, e-notary part. That's what that's for. So I have one at 4:30. So we got 22 minutes. Okay. Anywho, super excited. So tomorrow starts our July, 30-day challenge. I haven't done one this year at all. So this is going to be like my first time really locking in and going super aggressive because I'll be doing the work as well. So like getting out there, doing all the things. And so I'm going to explain to you guys what the 30-day challenge is and how it works and how you can get into it. The e-notary session that I was talking about, why is this doing this? I'll put the link in here for you guys. If you need help with e-notary stuff, this is the session you would book. Okay. Anywho, so the idea behind the 30-day boot camp. So I used to do these all the time for my business by myself, the 30-day challenge, but I would usually do like a 2-week, sometimes 30 days, but usually like a 2-week. And I would just go massively aggressive. And really, I still kind of do that sometimes. But basically, we were talking about this during coaching yesterday. You basically set a goal. And then with that goal, you would say, okay, when do you want to get this done? Okay, in 3 months. Great. How do you get it done in 3 weeks? And then you work backwards. Like, what would it take to hit that goal in 3 weeks? And that's how you create that massive action. And you just condense what it would take. And I've always done that. Even like I was thinking about it, was so funny. Even with like notary to notary. So when I first started notary to notary back in 2020, I actually started in the end of 2019. And in 2020, we were brand new to the space. And in 2019, 2020, we were brand new. We started doing classes in Richmond. I started doing it myself in Richmond and Virginia. And then in 2020, I said, hey, I really want to expand the brand nationally. And my idea, so I did that. I said, well, how do you want to, how would you expand it? And I said, okay, what's the fastest way? You ever heard of like guerrilla marketing? If you haven't heard of it, look it up. I do it with everything that I do. And so I said, well, instead of us doing classes just in Richmond, I'm going to do classes all over the country. Now, at the time, I didn't even know how I was going to pull this off, but I knew I was going to do it. And so if you guys knew, like in 2020, really, really a lot in 2020, and then some in 2021, I did classes all over the place. Like I was going to Maryland, I went to Texas, I went to Florida, I was North Carolina, like a lot of the east and down, and then Texas, I think, was the furthest west that we went. But we were very aggressive. Like every month we were hitting another state. And it was so funny because people were like, I was like, just asking like advice or whatever. People would say like, you can't like just travel across the country, like booking hotels and just doing trainings. And I was like, why not? And I just did it. And it was crazy because Notary literally exploded, like a mixture of YouTube and social media, but literally we were booking out hotel conference rooms and library classes and different like event space, restaurants. We were doing like, come have dinner with me. Like I remember we had a dinner in Texas where we booked, what was that? Did anybody go to that Texas dinner? We booked some really nice seafood restaurant and we trained and we were in there for like 2 hours. And I was just literally flying all over the place. And I was like, we can go all over this country. They're going to figure out, they're going to know notary. But I say that because I did the exact same thing with my independent notary business back in 2014, 2015, where I said, okay, I want to be super aggressive and I want to dominate my space and be a full-time notary. And so I did that. Like my story, I told you guys when I found out about signing services, I decided with as many companies as I possibly could. I did 100 companies in like 2-3 days. I was hitting nursing homes and hospitals and emailing and adding content. Like I was out here. Okay, y'all. People always say like, how'd you hit 6 figures so fast? Like I massive action that thing. And so the challenge that we're going to do for July is the same thing. So that's why I say like, should you do it? Yes. If you want to see results, if you're like, some people say, well, how like challenging? It is hard. It's not easy, but if making 6 figures was easy, everybody would do it, but the whole point of the challenge is that every day you'll have an action item, and then I'm going to train you on how to do or execute said action item and show you how to do it, how I would do it, how to do it effectively, so that way you're not having to recreate the wheel, but it's okay. Now you still have to do the thing, but it literally is like what I would do. And so starting tomorrow, initially I was good. So the first real work item, when you get to that, it's probably going to start around day 4. And there's work on day 1. But as far as like the tier you're going to focus on, we're going to start with field inspections. And the reason why is because a lot of people get into the notary space and they get discouraged because they're not hitting the goals that they wanted to hit in that time frame they set, which is usually a monetary goal. And usually like how much money have you guys put into your notary business thus far? Most people put in some money. And some field inspections is the fastest tier to generate revenue right out the gate. And so we're going to start with inspections in the challenge because I want to see you generating revenue right out of the gate. Okay. And so then from there, we'll get into general notary work. We'll get into loan closing and then it goes into non-notary work after that. But it is the whole point of doing a massive action challenge is that you do go this is not sustainable. What I'm going to tell you guys to do this month, and it's not sustainable. Not every day for the rest of your business, but what you do during this month of July should cause such a ripple effect that you have work the rest of the year. You see what I'm saying? So whenever you go like, I call it going into the lab, or like you go and then you just go massive action on it. It's not something that you're going to do every single day for the rest of your business. It's something that you just commit. Hey, this is going to be hard. This is going to be challenging. I'm going to be focused, but I know why I'm doing it. I'm doing it so I create enough momentum that'll carry me through the rest of the year. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the challenge is. So it's a 30-day challenge. It starts tomorrow, and every day. So when you get into the challenge, everything opens up at 12 a.m. Eastern. So you'll see goes on a schedule. So every day a new thing, what do you call it? Module opens, and it'll say, okay, day 2. This is what you do on day 2. And day 2, there'll be a little video, a little blurb, a little action step, and then throughout the day, so I will go live and do a training. It'll either be at 12 or at 6 Eastern Standard. Okay, it is recorded. It'll stay into the challenge. And so it'll just give you more training and resources so that way you know how to do the challenge. Or like some stuff is simple. It's that you know how to do it, but doing it, maybe you just need some motivation. Like when we get to like the visits of nursing homes and stuff, like I'll show you guys like how to do, I'll have a little video blurb telling you guys like how to do your nursing home visit. What do you actually say? People always say like, what do you, like I was on a coaching call this morning with one of my Built For You students, and she was just telling me how she got, I'll put the link into the chat for you, but she was telling me how somebody had called her for a job or what have you, and she gave a rate, and they, kind of like walked away. So it was kind of a bit much. And I was telling her, I probably was talking for like a good 5-10 minutes explaining how to give rates in a way that closes the deal. And people might say like, there's a way to do that. Yes. I didn't know that when I first got started. When I first got started, I was just giving rates like, oh, the fee is this, the price is this, da, da, da. I had to learn not only how to charge, because that came next effectively, but also how to talk about your rates, how to do it in a way that secures how to close the deal, how to make sure when someone does call your phone, you're not going back and forth negotiating, and it's a real solid transition. And I was giving her things that I do to, when someone calls me, kind of close that door of where they feel like they can negotiate, or they feel like, oh, it's too much. Like you just kind of lock them into the deal. And so that's something I was telling her I had to learn along the way. I didn't know that beforehand. And that's why I say more times than not, 90% of the time when I use that method, it closes. Like they say, okay, fine. Now, before I was using that method and I was telling people my rates, it was a 50-50 chance. Like how many times have you give somebody a rate and they say, oh, let me think about it, or I'm going to call a few more notaries, or I don't, you know what I'm saying? And that's because you left that door open for them to feel like they can negotiate or should shop around. And so that's why it's like I read like different sales books, different books on psychology, and just really different things, like how you learn, like people don't like when you say, oh, the price is this. People have a negative association with certain words, and it can cause pause. It's also a manner in how you deliver what you're saying, and all of this. So this also goes into like how you speak to like title company reps or attorneys, or people at like that's working in like nursing facilities or hospital, any kind of client you want to talk to. How you handle your delivery will dictate greatly, like not only if they work with you, but how soon. Because sometimes you may like talk to somebody, and because you weren't like super like charged with your delivery, it takes like 3, 4, 5, 6 times for them to actually want to work with you. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I always say, like, most people who go into business, like they don't learn sales, they don't learn like psychology, and they don't learn how to actually deliver that product to that person. And I didn't know that when I first got started, and I always say like notary is not really sales. Like it's not like I'm selling, I'm like going door to door, but it does have an aspect of sales to it, like you still have to be able to communicate with people and like get them to agree to work with you. You know, there's an art to that. There's a science to that. Like that is something, that's why sales and marketing is a whole tier all to itself, because you do need to learn how to do that. You know, a lot of times students will come to me and they'll say, you know, well, I went and passed out cards and things like that to different businesses and I didn't really get anything back. And my thing is like, so in-person marketing, phone marketing, email marketing, it's all different. But yes, you need volume, but the volume is going to fail you every time if your delivery is not good. You see what I'm saying? So it's twofold. It's volume, and you have a good product or service, which you do, and you got to have good delivery. You know, so all those things have to come together, because what if I have great volume, but I'm dressed like a, you know, bum, right? Like I got on bummy clothes. Like I can hit 30 facilities and I'm like, what? She's homeless. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's not just about volume. It's also about how you're doing your delivery. You see what I'm saying? And that's an example of like one of the things like we'll go over. People have always been asking me to do like a sales class. I'm not doing a sales class right now. It's not on the agenda. But during the challenge, I will discuss like some of the sales techniques that I use when people call me and I have to give them rates and stuff for different notary services and how to make it. I've been doing, I think I've gotten really good at that probably by the time I got into my third year of it. Because you start to realize the objections people will have, the comebacks, the things they will say on the phone, and then you can, the good salesman. So let's say, for example, someone calls you for something and you constantly get the same feedback, you know, the same like, oh, let me call around. It's about learning how to maneuver that. So that way people don't vary. And I told her too, implementing the method I was teaching her will get you like a good 20%, not 20%, 90% close rate. Like 90% of the people that call will close with you. They will book with you. They will keep that appointment. And that's from me when I first started being at like a 50-50. It was just like, I don't know, we're going to see. And now it's at like a good solid 90, you know? But yeah, so I'm excited for the challenge. Like I said, so we start tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll go live. I believe it's going to be at 12. It's going to be at 12 or 6. But I'll send a note. It'll be in the community, so you'll see. And it is recorded, so you do get that replay. But yeah, so that's what's going on. And then we're hopping into July. So because we have this challenge going on, I'm not going to do any classes on, you know how we do class on the weekends? We're not going to do that. We are doing coaching. So coaching will still run the month of July. And we do have coaching this Sunday. That's about it, darling. But if you guys have questions, this is your time to ask. I have about 5 more minutes to hit any questions you guys have, and then I'm going to hop on an e-notary coaching session with one of my students, and we're going to get it going. Oh, well, there's some more stuff coming out in July too, so I kind of like, you got to wait. It's a surprise. But I'm going to start setting out like little updates and announcements with some things going on. So just stay tuned, stay locked in. But if you have questions about how to build your notary business, how to be successful in your notary business, put it in the chat. Like I said, we have about 5 minutes where I can answer any questions that you guys have about getting started, about marketing, about, you know, how to get clients, the whole kit and caboodle. We'll go over anything that you have questions about and knock it out. Will you talk about fingerprinting? No. So if you have a question about fingerprinting, I'll answer it. But none of the challenges that are going to be in the 30 days is for fingerprinting. And that's because fingerprinting is not something that you can build overnight. Like, it's not like you can build it, you can get clients. It's just a little harder to like build that client base when you first get started. And so for the challenge, I want to see everybody in the challenge make money during the challenge. And I don't feel confident that I could teach you how to make fingerprinting money within that 30 days. Now, I can show you how to make money with the field inspections, with general notary work, with loan closing, and with some of the non-notary work things like weddings and apostilles in that 30 days. The really solid system on how to do that. Fingerprinting is just a little different. Doesn't mean you can't make money in it. You can, like we get clients in here. It just takes time to generate, and it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't have as high as the demand. It does have a demand. However, the demand is more unique, and it just takes a little bit more time to build. And so we're focusing on, for the challenge, we're focusing on things that while you're in the challenge, you can make money. Like, so the things that you're going to do, you should be making money like now. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I chose not to do fingerprinting. But when I'm on a live, or if you shoot me an email and ask me a question, I'll still answer. I'm not going to say, no, we're not talking about that. I'll still tell you anything you want to know during the challenge. But it's just not one of the built-in days that we're going. So you have 30 days. It's 31 days in July, but we're only doing 30 days of challenges because there's no challenge on July 4th. So then you get 30 days. So you get July 4th off. Look at that. Or you can, like, keep working on it. But I'm just saying, there's no challenge for July 4th. Okay. I created my Google business profile page. What else can I do to promote my business? Tons of stuff. That's a loaded question. That's a loaded question. That's like, I would have to be on here for at least an hour to tell you everything you can do to promote your business. So, and then it also depends on what tier you're focusing on, so like promote what about your business? Is it which tier of the notary business are you trying to focus on? Put that in the chat, and then I can give you some feedback. Like, what do you want to do? Does the 30-day period include beginner resource or guidance how to get started? So yes and no. The first day is literally all of that. So you can do it all on the first day. But so this is the thing. If you have the ultimate notary training, which you should have, if you don't have, just go to notarytonotary.com and get it. Hold on, put the link in here. That shows you a lot of the foundation. Now, the first 2 days is foundationary stuff because you want to make sure you have everything. But I don't want you to feel like if you don't have a notary commission, it's going to take you, like, you really can't do the challenge because in most states it's going to take like at least 2-3 weeks to get your commission. So there's certain things you want to have a commission, but like, say for example, you don't have E&O, like you can get E&O the same day. See what I'm saying? But like, so when you talk about beginner resources, what do you mean? Like, I'm going to tell you what you need to have, and how fast you get it, it's kind of going to be up to you. I think that you definitely need to have a commission. Like, that's needed. Like, everything else you can kind of do. And then it just depends on how like aggressive you are with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the only thing that takes a long background check does take a couple days if you go through the NNA. So if you don't have an NNA background check, I would definitely, so as I said on day one, because we're not going to get to loan closings. You got like a good week or so before you get there. So in day one, it's going to say, hey, you need all of these things. You got like, get it done. Get it done. And I always tell you guys how to do everything. But if you have the ultimate notary training already, then you already know in the first couple modules the foundationary things that you have to build your business. You know what I'm saying? Like your LLC and if you don't, good, do it on day one. The list is going to be in there. None of this stuff takes that long. Okay, it really doesn't. I remember when I went to Florida and I have 2 minutes, guys. And I started brand new in Florida, and in 30 days, I'd made $1,000. I didn't even have my commission in Florida yet. And I did a 30-day challenge. I drove out to Florida, and I said, I'm going to see if I can get my commission to make $1,000 in 30 days. If I can do it, so can you. It's just about learning what you have to do, and being really aggressive with how you do it, All right, so field inspection help. I am signed up with 2 companies. Okay, so you need to be signed up with a lot more than 2. There's a list of 45 companies inside that Ultimate Notary training. Get on with all 45. We're doing that during the class as well. Okay, I gotta get ready to hop on a call in a second. Okay, so, but still trying to learn the app to do the work. So with that, who asked me about my Google profile? Sierra. So I will get into the challenge, Sierra, but shoot me an email because I don't want you to go without your questions answered. Google profile, website, it depends on what you're trying to do. That's why, Sierra, I don't want you to feel like she didn't answer my question. I didn't answer your question because I want to give you an actual answer. I don't want to give you a surface level answer that you can't apply. And the only way I can really do that is if I have more details about what you're trying to do. So feel free to shoot me an email, Sierra, and I'll help you a little bit further. Is there a secret to the eNotary application? Yes, it's not a secret. You just got to do it right. Go into my eNotary course. It literally walks you through step by step how to do it. Okay. Most people who do it by themselves get it rejected. Don't feel bad. Most people do, you know. You can also book an eNotary practice session with me, and I'll go over your application. I do that too. If you need help with it, you can book an eNotary practice session, or you can get the course inside their remote online notary course. It literally shows you Virginia's application and how to complete it properly so it doesn't get rejected. Okay. Do you live in Florida? How did you get your commission and work? I live in both Virginia and Florida. And how did I get my commission? I applied to get it. And then how did I get work? I marketed. I didn't even market that aggressively. You know, I really didn't. I could have marketed way harder than that. But also, I know what I'm doing. So I don't want to say like, oh, I didn't market that hard. I did market, but I just know what works. I've been doing it long enough that I know what works. But then I just market it and I got clients, you know. So it's one of those things where when you know how to do the thing, it makes it easier to do. So I'm not going to say like it probably would have been a challenge if I had never done it before. You see what I'm saying? But because I have done it, it wasn't as challenging as that. Okay, guys, I have to get on this eNotary coaching now. So someone needs help with eNotary. And so I will see you guys the way I go. I'll try to go live again later today. If not, you know, I'll be live tomorrow for the challenge. If you have questions, just let me know. I am going to, that's it. I think I wanted to figure out everything else. So that is all I was talking about. I wish we had more time. Will you be giving us the filter? Yes. We're going to go. I give you everything. Everything's going to be in there. As far as the list goes, you won't have the training. You have to get the training on your own if you're going to do like loan closing training or what have you. But you will have the list of inspection companies during the class. All right, guys. Love you guys. For doing it on purpose, I gotta get on this call. I will try to come back on here in a minute, but I will talk to you guys the way I go. Bye. Hey guys, have you had a chance to get a copy of my new book, The Ultimate Ron Guide? If you are ready to build a remote online notary business, then this book is what you need. In this book, I give you all the information that you need to know in order to build a successful remote online business, no matter what state you're in, as long as your state authorizes remote online notarizations. Head on over to Amazon today and get your copy. You'll be glad you did.